Hello YouTube, and on today's video I'm going to be talking about the Nintendo 3DS because lately I've just been really nostalgic toward the 3DS and everything like that. I love the 3DS, it has a very special place in my heart, and I'm going to talk to you guys about why that is. So, for starters, the 3DS launched in March 2011 here in North America, and obviously I didn't get one on launch day. The 3DS, I think, is known for having like a horrible launch. It launched at $250, which is crazy. There weren't really any good games for it either, which is not good. And it just wasn't great at launch, but I really wanted one at the launch. I just really wanted one because I just saw all these good games coming out in the future that I wanted one then for the future use and everything like that. But, of course, I didn't get one at launch. I ended up instead getting one that Christmas of 2011. I got one at the price drop when it was $180, and it was a Christmas gift. So, it was really like one of the best Christmas presents I think I've ever gotten. And, of course, this isn't the one that I got that year because the XLs weren't even out by that point. I had a Flare Red one back then, and then I upgraded to this one when GameStop was doing some trade-in thing, and I was able to get 3 games that I think are 3 of the best starter games for any 3DS set or any 3DS collection. So I got Star Fox 64 3D, which is just a great game, and this is a funny game because back when I first played it, I didn't really get it, like I kept seeing people say it's one of the best games on the system, and I was just really confused because I beat it in like 30 minutes, and I was like, what? And then I found out that the whole draw of Star Fox 64 is playing through it multiple times, unlocking all the routes and everything, all the medals, and that's when I fell in love with the game, was when I found that out. So it's just a really fun experience, and of course I got Mario Kart 7. Mario Kart 7 is probably my favorite Mario Kart, and I'm not really that into Mario Kart, but I played this one to death. I played it so much. I used to just be able to go online in this game and just completely dominate. Like, I would place first in every lobby that I was in, to the point to where people would just kick me. Last but not least, I got Ocarina of Time 3D, and Ocarina of Time is probably my favorite game ever made. This is such an incredible game. And this is the best version of the game, is right here on the 3DS. It's got the best visual art style. It's such an incredible game, and I feel like Ocarina of Time really, people just try and bash this game nowadays, I feel like too much, but it's just such an incredible experience. So, I had 3 of the best games for the system just right out of the gate for me that Christmas. And then I was also given some Christmas money, and with that Christmas money, I was able to buy a couple more games that I thought were really great, and that's Bust-A-Move Universe. This was actually, I think, the first 3DS game to go on clearance, because this was a launch game, and I remember I bought this brand new for like $10. It wasn't even 8 months after the launch of this thing. This game was already in clearance bins. Bust-A-Move Universe is actually a pretty good game. I really love puzzle games, which is why I got this, and plus it was super cheap. Then I got Tales of the Abyss. Tales of the Abyss is one of my favorite action RPGs. It's a weird game though, because there's far better Tales games, but I still have a really soft spot for this game. I really love the character arc of the main character Luke. I love the side stories for the characters like Tyr and Guy, and I just really like this game. It helps the fact that it's on a portable. I think RPGs like Tales really lend themselves very well to portable systems, and I was able to pre-order Kid Icarus Uprising. This game was the whole reason behind why I wanted a 3DS. I remember the E3 2010 press conference where they showed this game off for the first time, and I was just blown away. I had never seen graphics that good on a handheld before, And I would still argue this is one of the best looking 3DS games ever made. Ever. It's so visually stunning, and it has such a great art. It has such a great sense of humor, and I think it's actually, like, besides Ocarina of Time, I think if I was just picking my favorite 3DS game, I would probably pick this one, like, just as a standalone 3DS game, because, like, Ocarina of Time is a remake, more or less, but this is an actual, like, game built from the ground up for the 3DS, and it's such a great game. I love Kid Icarus Uprising. And then, right after I got Kid Icarus, I started my first job. So I think you guys can kind of start to see why the 3DS is so loved by me, is because I had a lot of my firsts with it. You know, my first job, it was my first console in high school and everything like that. And, you know, when I got my first job, it was the first time I ever really had expendable income to just spend on random games. Not the big AAA games, you know, but just random stuff, like being able to go to a GameStop and look at something and actually being able to buy it was just really refreshing to me. And I have a nice big stack of games here, and we're just going to go over a couple of them. Pac-Man and Galaga Dimensions. If I was picking a compilation, like, you know, a compilation game, a game with multiple games on it, I think this is probably my pick for my favorite one, because this has Galaga and Pac-Man, which are two of my favorite arcade games, and then it has Pac-Man Champion Edition. And Pac-Man Championship Edition is such an incredible game. It's one of the best arcade or arcade-style games I've ever played in my entire life. It's so great, you guys. And I actually have a really funny story with this. I remember a teacher who I was in school with, I told him that I was getting really close to the top 100 scores in Championship Edition in this game, and he told me there was no way I could ever do that. And then, like, I did it, and it was just such a, like, eat crap moment for my teacher. And it was just so rewarding for me to be able to do something like that. I'd never done anything like that in my entire life, and it was just so nice, you know. Nowadays, like, me breaking the top 100 is probably far gone. Like, my score has probably been off the leaderboard forever now. But, you know, it's still a great moment. Then I have Tetris Access. I love Tetris, and this is probably my favorite Tetris game. It's just Tetris. It's so much fun. Like, come on. I can't really explain Tetris. It's a puzzle game where you line up bricks. Then I have Shinobi. Shinobi's a 2D platformer, and it's pretty good. One sec. I'm going to do a quick cut right here because my heater's going off. Alright, sorry about that interruption, but yeah, though, Shinobi is a pretty fun 2D platformer. My main issue with it is it has this parry system that you pretty much have to master if you want to get very far in the game, and I was never able to beat the game because of that. It was just too hard for me, because the parry system in this game is just brutal. You have like one frame. Yeah, though, but a fun game nonetheless. Then I also got Dream Trigger 3D, and Dream Trigger is really unlike anything else on the 3DS. It's very, very, very interesting, so much so I can't really do it justice here in this video. Just know it's made by, like, the person who made Rez, so think about that. It's just so out there. It's such a weird game. I like it a lot, though. It's a lot of fun. But yeah, so that wasn't all of the games that I bought, obviously, but that's a, you know, decent chunk of them. Obviously, I bought more games than that while I was in that period of high school with my job, but I want to mostly just talk about Pokemon X now. And the reason why is because I think this is the 3DS game that I'm most nostalgic toward, I suppose. So I got this in Christmas of 2013, and it was just one of those games. So I got this my senior year of high school, and it was one of the last times that I really got to play Pokemon with, you know, friends in high school, okay? I still remember having my last Pokemon like Wi-Fi battle after like in September, after we all graduated and everything. And you know, it's just one of those things. It's this game gets ragged on by a lot of people because it's very easy. And don't get me wrong, it has problems. It's not as good as Black or White, or Black 2 / White 2, but I still really like it. I still really love it. It's a very, very charming game, and I just really, really like Pokemon X a lot. But yeah, so that's my, you know, personal nostalgic memories of the 3DS. I love the 3DS, and you know, I obviously have bought more 3DS games since Pokemon X, but you know, after I graduated high school, I started a full-time job, and once I started my full-time job, like, buying brand new games just kind of lost its luster and everything because money was just more expendable. So it's just not as special to me nowadays to buy a brand new game, but I really cherish that 2-year window of time in the 3DS's lifespan where it was just the only real system I had to play newer-ish games on, or new games on, and I would just buy a game every week or so. So, you know, that's the video for today, you guys. If you liked it, like it down below. If you didn't like it, let me know in the comments and dislike the video. Yeah, though, so I hope you guys like this little trip down memory lane, and have a wonderful day or night whenever you guys are watching this, and peace.